This statistic is crazy. So between 1960 and now, there's been a 90% increase. What's up, everybody? I'm Zap, and this is Jericho, and we are the now six-time international award-winning pop, hip-hop music duo band and future. We do clean, fun music that everyone can listen to with a sound that's uniquely Californian. And right now, you're tuned into the Life's a Circus podcast, where we talk about things that are funny, interesting, and ridiculous. But before we get started, help us out. Do a little something for the YouTube algorithm. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share this video. So people that are feeling lonely, man, feeling alone out here.
It's a cold world, man.
And make sure you stick to the end where words. Take 12. Make sure you stick to the end where I'll tell you 5 ways that you can combat loneliness. So we had a video pretty recently, which is doing pretty well, by the way. It's a good topic, Jericho, about the hikikomori. She talked about these people in Japan who have basically just checked out of society.
Right.
And we'll put a link to that video at the top. But it kind of got me thinking about just loneliness in general, because I heard something about it being a big problem. And I did a little more research, and I didn't know it was this big. And so I'm just going to give you a few numbers here just to start off so you can see this. And we're talking about America now, so you can see the extent of what's happening. So the U.S. Surgeon General declared loneliness as an epidemic. So it's a full-blown epidemic in the United States. It's General Dr. Vivek Murthy. And according to him, he says loneliness is as destructive to your health as smoking, which is just, it kind of makes sense, kind of doesn't make sense, but
okay.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird thing to think about. And then there was also a study in the Public Library of Science. It's a medical journal that says that loneliness is the equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So I guess the health aspect was very interesting to me. I didn't know it was that deep.
Mm-hmm.
And here's some other numbers. This statistic is crazy. So between 1960 and now, there's been a 90% increase in the population. What do you think the percentage increase was from that time of the people that said that they were lonely?
Okay. Oh, okay. I would guess a lot more, honestly.
Yeah, it's definitely more. How much more?
150%.
150%. Okay. So population increase 90%, basically doubled.
Yeah.
The amount of people that reported being lonely, 442% increase.
Interesting.
So 4 times the amount of people are lonely now as opposed to what, like 80 something years ago. Math, 60 some years ago. Public school people, leave me alone. I digress. So these numbers are crazy. I really didn't know that they were that extensive. So the last thing I'll share is just, so you think about, okay, all these people are lonely. Who are we talking about? So studies have found that when it comes to gender, it's pretty much the same across the board. So women, men, pretty much as lonely as each other. So you all should find each other and hook up. Next, I kid.
I'm thumbs up that.
The biggest disparity though is in the generations, not the genders.
Mm-hmm.
So they found that baby boomers, and this was also interesting, baby boomers, about 50%, which is still a lot of people, 50% reported loneliness. Because when I think of loneliness, I think of like okay, the older person, maybe your friends or family have passed on, don't really have your kids have moved out, nobody to talk to. I think about that's what picture comes into my head when I think
Mhm.
about someone being lonely. Um, the loneliest generation is actually, what do you think?
Which one are we?
We're millennials.
Oh, Gen Z.
Yep.
Mm,
Almost 80%. This is, I'm not laughing at the situation. I'm laughing at how ridiculous the number is.
sure.
4 out of 5 Gen Zers are just feeling alone. Like and millennials not that far behind at 70%. And the ironic thing is that we have social media, which is connected people more than any other time in human history, and yet we are the most alone. Um, just it's like mind blowing. Like, what do you think about those numbers just from the start?
The idea of how unhealthy being lonely is makes a lot of sense because I think we're naturally social beings. Humans are
Mm,
social. We need community, and I know for depression, which I believe is associated with loneliness, um, the number one cause is just that lack of connection, the lack of people around you that you feel like actually care about you. So um, very closely related. So it's definitely a problem. I would imagine that they care more about that now than they did before, and that might be why the numbers are a little bit like I wouldn't. I'm always like when I hear numbers, I'm like that's I know there are people that just do numbers. That's their life, and they do research thing and they provide statistics. But what are
mm,
they taking into account? What are they defining as loneliness? Really, like you feel lonely? Like yeah, I've talked to kids like yeah, I'm lonely, and I ask them some questions. I'm like, you're not lonely, you're bored. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's sometimes
mm,
a little bit of a difference, but in general, I get the severity of it. And yes, there are a lot of people that just need to feel a connection. The social media thing is ironic, right? Because you'd think that you connect to more people, you'd feel more included or something, but it feels like it goes the opposite. In the same way that I heard a joke about this, but it makes a lot of sense to me. It's like we know everything now thanks to internet and whatever, but we're not any smarter.
yeah.
Like we have access to all this knowledge, but we're not smart. We have access to all these people, but we're not any more connected. And so
Hmm.
that's really so it's like, so what's the reason? It's because it's just not genuine, right? It's
Yes.
just you need that person that's actually probably in the same room as you. It helps. Um, or at the very least, someone that you feel you can speak to on like an intimate level. Because just someone that says hi to you every day, that's not a I don't think that would cure loneliness as much as someone that would actually sit with you and ask you how you're doing and all that kind of stuff. So it's
Hmm.
something that needs to be explored. But I think that the social media thing would definitely just make it worse, especially when not only do you see people living their best lives, and so you're already doing a comparison thing, but you're seeing
Yeah.
people with other people living their best lives. So it's like, oh, look at them together, and they're and I don't have any. Then this depression and sadness comes.
Hmm. Yeah, I think I mean, those are all good points. Those are kind of in the list here I have of just like why this is happening.
Mhm.
One, like you said, social media and just the surface level connection. It's like you're connected, but you're not really building friendships or relationships.
Right.
Um, Another thing is just uh, again something that seems like it's an enhancement, but it's actually kind of affects us negatively. Is the people's ability to move and travel. When you think back in the day, like if you're moving somewhere, like you're going by wagon, and it's going to take you like 2 years to get there, and
So,
you just hope everybody makes the trip to the end. Like it's just you don't just pack up and move. You know what I'm saying? You just but people now they you can go here, there, and like you can
like
move
tomorrow,
on a
like just
dime.
like, hey, I got a job offer, I took it, so I'm leaving tomorrow. Like that's literally
Right.
how people operate now.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a thing. And then a third thing is just like it feels like, at least to me, it feels like so long ago, but we still have not recovered from COVID. And I think
Mm,
this is one of the after effects of like having to isolate for like a year, and people just kind of, they either went stir crazy or they just kind of like, oh, I like being by myself. And they kind of just let it morph into this like, oh, I'm just not gonna be with anybody ever. I just want to be by myself all the time, and it's just having like so many negative effects. Um, and also like the concept of working from home. I think this is a whole new topic that we should do in another video. But like the it's definitely a different social situation when you work, when you go to office. You know, you think of even like the water cooler talk, like stuff like that.
Sure.
It's like these social interactions that we don't even really think about. Because even myself, like I work so much from here now that I'm just like, a lot of times, pretty much every day, I'm just like, okay, I just go out just to go out, just to walk around the neighborhood or do something, just because it's just it just feels very weird to not talk to anybody or interact with anybody.
Right.
So that's, you know, that's the thing that's piling up too. But like I said, what can you do, right? It's 5 things that I mentioned before, 5 ideas, something you can do to combat loneliness. If you're feeling lonely, um, if you're trying to like, you know, if you're working at home all the time, or you feel isolated, there's some things you can do. One is to join a class or a club,
Mm.
um, or even like a gym. I,
Jim's
I,
good. Mm.
I definitely picked up the gym this year. I don't go that much, as you can see, but I made an effort. People, leave me alone. Number two, number two is volunteering. Um,
Yeah, you get the twofold thing, like you're helping people, and
yeah,
then you're with other people as you're helping, so you get that community.
yeah. A third thing, which I don't think people talk about enough, is just strengthening existing relationships, especially in LA. Like, I mean, same thing. I mean, it's just the nature of LA and entertainment industry. There's like, I know hundreds, maybe thousands of people.
Mhm.
Like, but like the close friends, I could probably count them on one hand.
Oh, same here. I mean,
You
that's
know?
life. That's how it should. I don't think it's possible to have 100 close friends,
Yeah, yeah. So
but
it's not about the number of people, but it's just like, but there's like people that like, you know, but you don't really like, you don't really connect with them like you probably should to have a good relationship. You know, case in point, like you know, one of our friends had a uh what was it called? Like a, what do you call those? Gender reveal
yeah, yeah,
things,
yeah.
you know? And like I'm just like, I'm not the person to like go to something like that, but I'm like, hey, I haven't talked to this guy in a while. Let me go and support and just be there. And I had a really good time.
It was very
Like,
nice.
yeah, it was a really good time. And I met like other people that I didn't know before or didn't remember from the past, and like, it was really cool. So it's, sometimes you even have to like just push yourself to. It's not always about meeting new people, but just kind of, you know, connecting more with the people that you do know.
Right.
Um, Four, something that I've debated back and forth. I know you'll never do it, um, but I kind of always wanted to try it at least at some point in time, and that is adopt a pet, or get a pet.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm gonna maybe stir the pot a little bit. I don't think that you can form the same kind of relationship with a human as you can with an animal, and I
Oh,
bet people
leave a
do.
comment.
Nope, and that's the thing. I'm sticking by it, and I do
If your
think
dog is your
people
child, leave your
have
comment.
issues with that because they try to substitute it. They do. They do. They say, "Well, I can't have a real friend, but I'll just make my dog my world," and that is fine for them. But I just don't think it quite does it the same. I don't prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I'll say you're wrong. I don't
I
think that. I think you need a human to human interaction, and nothing in the world can substitute that. Not animals are nicer than humans. Like some of them, maybe, but no, no. Miss me with that.
leave a comment, address Jericho directly.
Miss me with that. I'm not going to respond either. So whatever.
uh, Okay, I mean, maybe not on the level of humans, but I think it is the benefits of having a pet is significant.
I think it's healthy. I do think it's healthy. I mean,
Yeah,
just the idea of caring for something, especially in kids, produces like you're not selfish. If you have to think about how do I care about this other
yeah.
living thing, that's a good thing. And if I could have a snake, I'd do it. I
A
like snakes,
snake
man.
can't have a snakes aren't
Snakes recognize you.
interactive.
Snakes hiss.
Yeah, they're like, food. You're the person that I think I could eat and be full for like a year and a half.
That does sometimes happen. Don't get those
uh,
kind of snakes.
but the last thing is talking to strangers, which is another. I like all of these. This is so interesting. Again, well, especially me coming from Alabama to California.
Mhm.
So, and I still don't. I haven't been back there in a long time. Someone can tell me, but there is like the southern thing where like even if it's a stranger, if you cross paths with somebody, you speak to them. Hey, how you doing? Good
Yeah.
morning, like whatever. In LA,
It's not even.
bro,
You
it's
get the police called on you for that.
just
For real.
like, and it's it makes me feel bad for some reason. Like, it's I don't know what the feeling is. It's not disrespect. I don't feel disrespected, but I just feel like it's just weird to me because I will literally. It's one thing when like nobody says anything, but I will say good morning to people, and they would just look at me. They would just like look through me
Yeah.
like I'm a ghost. I'm just like, what? What is
But
wrong with you?
but isn't it worth it though when you say good morning to the person that's like, yes, good, finally someone that talks. Like there's people like
Yeah,
that too, and that's cool. I mean, I had a whole conversation with a guy in the gym. He was on the bike next to me, and I was like, he's older. I need relationship advice. I'm gonna ask a stranger. We talked for like half an hour.
yeah,
Yeah, it was great.
yeah. I had a. I mean, it's not just me. I had another friend. I think she's from East Washington or something, and she came out here for like a week, and then she was like, "Yo, what's wrong with these people?" I was like, "What?" She's like, they just stare at you and don't say anything." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't know what's." And I have like, this is so off, but I have this game that I play. It's just
Uh,
like, what is this? What is this person going to do to ignore interacting with me?
oh, nice.
So
Yeah.
there's like these there's like these few go tos, and I try to think, okay, I try to like evaluate them and just based off their appearance, how they're walking, whatever.
What are they gonna do?
Yeah. So they're either gonna do, which is bold. The boldest one is to look through, where you're just looking straight through me, and you're just like, I don't see you. You're not a person. You don't exist.
Mhm.
That's crazy. That's pretty bold.
That takes
Um,
practice.
the second thing is the phone.
Always.
Like as soon as they get close to me, they're gonna look at their phone like something's happening. It's not really happening. They just don't want to talk to me. um, the third one, if there's no phone, it's just a look down, just a head down,
Yeah. The
and
sidewalk got really interesting all of a sudden.
yes, there's something down there. I forgot where my feet were, and there they are. Thanks. All right. And then the fourth one is the look away. So they look to the side, like, oh, there's something going. Oh, there's nothing happening there, and that person's gone. I can look straight again.
I will often pretend like I do not speak English. That works pretty good.
But yeah, those are if you're playing at home, try this with when you go out. And see which one of those four things you get, because I get all four, man.
Yeah, that's fun.
It's funny to me.
Yeah.
People are weird. But yeah, that's been another episode of the Life of Circus podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share this video with somebody's lonely, because they can talk to us in the comments. Jericho might never respond, but I will. So there you go. Also get a pet.
Try try it.
They took our jobs! They took our jobs! They took our jobs!